Really, if you're not doing anything, then you're not going to get anywhere. So sometimes the toughest thing to do is to begin. So let us begin now. So you see, a few years ago, someone asked me about how to feel better and be happier. And I told them three things. Three things because it's easy to remember three things or fewer. So I told them these three things, and they asked how long it would take for them to start to feel better. So I told them, a few days, but usually 2 to 4 weeks, considering that they'd be sad and stressed for months, if not years. They thought, a few weeks is pretty good. Then I saw them again in about 3 or 4 months, and I asked them how they were doing, to which they replied they would like to learn how to feel better and happier. I asked if they'd done the three things I'd asked, and they said, not yet. They just wanted to be sure, and if I could go over those three things again. So 3 months after they could have been better, they were still in the same place. So the question to you is, are you going to be in the same place 3 months from now? Or are you fed up enough to bother to change and do these three things? So these three things. So the first you've all heard of is expressive writing or journaling, writing things down. It's very trendy at the moment. However, the research isn't quite what is trendy at the moment. It's not about writing everything that gets you fired up or down every day. You see, I'll go over what exactly you need to write to feel better. Now that we've got your curiosity piqued, you see there's a professor called Professor Pennebaker at the University of Texas, who's been a leader in the field of expressive writing for over 40 years. And his name is all over, and you'll hear him in books that you read about. And he discovered that expressive writing the correct way can reduce stress and emotions and relieve emotional trauma. And it is also has, because of this, it has physical benefits that are unspoken, such as an overall reduction in consultations to the doctor, overall just feeling better, and who knows, it could have effects on other, if you're not consulting the doctor because you feel better, are you actually being better? And we know how you think and how you feel affects how your body presents. Could this mean that traumatic events early in life cause long-lasting ill health, both physically and mentally? Well, what the research says about adverse childhood events, which you can look up if you're interested, is that they do. So the more adverse childhood events you have, the more likely you are to have a difficult time in the future. We're talking about drug use, suicide, academic achievement, and problems with physical health, actually, not just suicide. And then because of that, problems with your children and children after that as well. So his research shows that if you deal with these traumatic events that have been imprinted in your mind, it makes you feel healthier, makes you feel happier, makes you feel freer, and that reflects in your blood, your health, your happiness. Those of you involved in the fields of therapy will understand this. Those who do body work know that the body remembers traumatic experiences. You know that great book, The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk. If you haven't read it, it's wonderful. Professor Pennebaker's research into this area was, now I'm going to tell you what he asked people to do. And it's really simple. I'll give you the precise instructions he used. And it's important to heed this because an experiment is only valid if it's performed in the way it's always performed for everyone there. So the instructions to all of you now is to find a time and place where you won't be disturbed. Ideally pick a time at the end of your workday or before you go to bed. Promise yourself that you will write for a minimum of 15 minutes a day for at least 3 to 4 consecutive days. Once you begin writing, write continuously. Don't worry about spelling or grammar. If you run out of things to write about, just repeat what you've already written. You can write longhand, you can type on a computer, you can write about the same thing on all 3 or 4 days of writing, or you can write about something different each day. It's entirely up to you. Over the next 4 days, I want you to write about your deepest emotions and thoughts about the most upsetting experience in your life. So really let go and explore your feelings and thoughts about it. In your writing, you might tie this experience to your childhood, your relationship with your parents, people you have loved or love now, or even your career. How is this experience related to who you would like to become, who you have been in the past, or who you are now? Many people have had a single traumatic experience, but all of us have had major conflicts or stresses. Some people have not had a single traumatic experience, but all of us have had major conflicts or stresses in our lives, and you can write about them as well. So you can write about the same issue every day or a series of different issues, whatever you choose to write about. However, it is critical that you really let go and explore your very deepest emotions and thoughts. And as a warning, many people report that after writing, they sometimes feel somewhat sad or depressed. Like seeing a sad movie, this typically goes away in a couple of hours. If you find you are getting extremely upset about writing a topic, simply stop or change the topics. So that is the instructions, quite long instructions, but you get it. Sit down, keep quiet, write without stopping for 15 minutes about something that's really been traumatic in your life or worried you. And if you can't write, just keep writing about the same thing over and over again. So, and further instructions are, what do you want to write about? Something you're thinking about or worrying about too much, something that you're dreaming about, something that you feel has affected your life in an unhealthy way, something that you've been avoiding for days or weeks or months, years, and what to do with your writing after that. You see, the writing is for you and you only. Some people, their purpose is for you to be completely honest with yourself. When writing secret, you can plan to throw it away at the end, tear it up. You can keep it, save it, dump it, whatever you want. It's really up to you. What he suggests not to do, is to write about emotional things, negatively emotional things every day. The problem is that your brain, when it goes to sleep, sorts out your memories and does a lot of housekeeping. If you make a big deal of something recent and write it down and read it through again and again, it helps your brain remember. The brain is really good at pruning and removing memories that upset it and it doesn't need so that it can go forwards. So the recommendation is to write about traumatic things in the past. Don't simmer on things and to let things go. And if you can't let things go, you can write about it. Don't revise things over and over again in your head that upset you. Instead, if you want to write every day, pick out the good things in the day. Revise the good, cheerful, positive things that have happened in your life. Choose the memories you want to keep. And maybe you could solidify them by writing and memorizing them, or putting them into your subconscious, your unconscious. So are you ready to write? So make a plan when you're going to do this. Do it in a week. Do it tonight. Rewrite your history. So in doing so, rewrite your present, rewrite your future. Will it work right away? The answer is sometimes, but more often you won't see the difference right away. But you'll begin to notice it more and more as time goes by. And I can tell you, this is one of the most profound experiences I've ever had in changing the way I think and feel. And the best thing is, all you need to do is have a pen and paper or a keyboard and computer. It won't cost you anything. It's free. Why not start now?